Good morning, evening, afternoon, whatever it is. My name is Bulldog. I'm here at the Great Southern Slam 2016 here in beautiful, sunny Adelaide, South Australia. This is the second game on track one. It's going to be Adelaide Roller Derby versus Western Australia Roller Derby. Roster for Adelaide: number 11, Kilakazi; number 119, Trinket; number 2, Harry Smiles; number 226, Ra; number 24, Fury of Fenrir; number 2880, Blue Renegade; number 29, Bam Bam Belial; number 32, Frill Seeker; number 33, Mosquito; number 46, Alcatraz, the team captain; 533, Crusher Ramon; 66, Missile Belial; number 88, the Philistine, co-captain of the Adelaide; number 886, Anti-Social; number 9, Kit Kat Crunch; and number 91, Ankle Grinder. For Western Australia Roller Derby, number 13, Kit; number 1535, Tiny Dancer; number 191, Hades; number 1963, Medusa Cascade; number 21, Blady Jane; number 218, Coca-Rola; number 30, Tequila Slamma; number 316, Bubbles; number 333, Juicium Suffer; number 353, Handy Mandy; number 4, Modern Warfare; number 49, Hella High Water; number 56, Nails; and number 7, Cami. That's Western Australia Roller Derby. So we're ready to get started. Number 353, Handy Mandy against number 88, the Philistine, in the red for Adelaide. And the Philistine right through the pack on the inside. She's got lead jammer in the first 3 seconds of the game. Handy Mandy breaks away from Fury of Fenrir at the front of the pack. But Adelaide has the first points as the Philistine calls off the jam. She just gets no points. No points for Adelaide. So we remain 0-0. The Philistine unable to penetrate the pack. So it's going to be, so technically we're still tied after 30 seconds. So with the 30-second reset time, it's going to take us 1 minute into the game. Hades, number 191 for Western Australia, against number 11, Kilakazi. Hades trying to streak across to the inside, gets caught by Harry Smiles. Picks himself back up. Harry Smiles again with a shoulder around the outs. Oh, no, Kilakazi goes to the penalty box. It's a forearm penalty, and we have our first power jam of the game. And the first power jam ends cutting the track on Hades. That means we're going to have our first jammer swap out. Hades getting hurt, cutting the track penalty only about 5 seconds after Kilakazi. But she had a little bit longer trip to the penalty box. So Kilakazi actually getting about a 10 seconds of freedom. However, we're going to go the full 2 minutes. No lead jammer in this one since both jammers have gone to the penalty box during the jam.
Both teams doing really well in the blocking, holding both of these jammers up pretty much.
Hades in the forward position, slips past Crusher Ramon, slides off a hip check from Ankle Grinder, the last line of defense for Adelaide. Hades is he's out first, no lead jammer. Kilakazi gets away from the pack. But Hades already on a scoring pass, knocked down by Harry Smiles, again, number 2 for Adelaide. Both jammers on their first scoring pass. Kilakazi at the back of the pack. Western Australia holding strong. Kilakazi almost got by, but stumbled and now gets another penalty. This time it's a cutting the track for the Adelaide jammer. But she was on her first scoring pass, may have put some points on the board. We'll see after she gets out of the penalty box or at the end of the jam. But right now, Hades of Western Australia on a power jam on her first scoring pass. Blady Jane comes across like a wrecking ball, but Crusher Ramon of Adelaide able to stay in front of Hades, keeps her from getting out, but she does get all 4 points. Did not get the 5th point. She was eligible for a jammer point. But Kilakazi gets 3 out of a potential 4 points. So after 2 jams, we have a score of 4-3 with Western Australia in the lead by 1. Kilikazi in the penalty box, still sitting. So we have at least a 10-second power jam. That's Bubbles, number 316 for Western Australia. Up to the front. Fury of Fenrir on point for Adelaide. Holding back, teaming up with Antisocial. They work together and slam Bubbles to the ground. And that ends the power jam. Kilikazi back on the track. Up to the front, getting held by Coca-Cola, but slides off the hip check. Gets out, and lead jammer out of the penalty box. Adelaide steals lead jammer away from Western Australia. And more bad news for Western Australia. Cutting the track on Bubbles means it's a power jam. Kilikazi gives Tiny Dancer, number 1535, the slip. That is a full 5-point pass for Adelaide. Kilikazi bounces off a hip check from Modern Warfare, and again gets by Tiny Dancer. Second scoring pass, another grand slam, 10 points total in that jam, and that will put Adelaide in the lead, 13-4.
Is running a little bit of interference for her, as are the rest of them. Nice inside line, and she's through. Lee Jammer.
There's a nice sweep, making the easy pass up the inside for the jammer there. Strong formation set up by Adelaide in the back, ready to trap the jammer coming down the ball.
Bubbles out of the penalty box for Western Australia.
Doing a beautiful job now of holding up Trinket.
Adelaide jammer Trinket, number 119. She's up at the front. Cami and Juicy M suffer, working together with Blady Jane. Blady Jane all over Trinket. The Trinket stays inside to the outside. It's Juicy M suffer, screened off by Kit Kat Crunch. Trinket completes the scoring pass for 4. Bubbles comes up empty for Western Australia. So that increases Adelaide's lead, 17-4. But we're just just a little over 5 minutes into the game. So we've got another new jammer for Adelaide. It's Ra, number 226. And Handy Mandy returning to the jammer line for Western Australia. A quick shot off the whistle. But Ra recovering nicely. Now just beats Handy Mandy to that opening on the outside. Ankle grinder, Blue Renegade tries to catch her, but a forearm penalty against the Western Australia jammer. And Handy Mandy to the box, another power jam. Ra, on her first scoring pass, will go ahead and call off the jam. Only going to get 2 points. Maybe didn't see that she was on a power jam.
And this one's going to last.
But went ahead and called it off, settled for 2 points. But that will give the Philistine, who's lining up now for Adelaide, that'll give her close to 30 seconds, probably at least 20 seconds to get lead jammer ahead of Western Australia. Blady Jane and Cami working together for Western Australia in the white. The Philistine still struggling just to get anywhere in the pack. Cami screened off by Alcatraz, now moves to the outside. Shrugs off a shoulder from Blady Jane, but still being contained by Western Australia. Blockers working together well, but the Philistine breaks up the center. Gets out with lead jammer just before Handy Mandy rockets out of the penalty box and breaks and clears the pack for her initial pass, that is. Philistine with Handy Mandy breathing down her neck goes ahead and calls off the jam, and she will win the jam. 2-0 for Adelaide.
For all of that power jam, that was just 2 points to the Adelaides.
Good work from the WA blockers there, holding her up. Hades now for WA, up against 2,000 for the Adelaides. Only 2 blockers for Adelaide, so a beautiful chance now for WA to really just smash ahead and get some points on the board.
Massive jamming there.
Number 191, Hades, jamming for Western Australia. And she gets by Antisocial. No, sorry, that's Mosquito, number 33. Last line of defense for Adelaide. Blue Renegade moving up to make a 2-wall at the front of the pack. But Kilakazi, number 11, the jammer for Adelaide, to the penalty box. Now we have a power jam and our first grand slam for Western Australia. Hades in control of the jam right now. Lead jammer, second scoring pass. Kit Kat Crunch holds her to the inside. Now Hades running up to the 3-wall in front, but looks like Western Australia has a goat. They're holding Alcatraz at the back of the pack. However, Mosquito is able to draw Hades all the way to the top of turn 3. She gets screened off, and again, Western Australia has a goat, and they make it work for them. Blue Renegade cannot pursue because they were right at the end of the engagement zone. Hades gets 4 points this time. That is because Kilakazi got out of the penalty box before she started that scoring pass. But a big jam for Western Australia. 12 points puts them only 5 points behind Adelaide.
12 points toward. They really needed that one. It's brought them right back into the game.
Kit coming to the jam line up against Trinket.
Quick thank you to BSS Light Audio Visual. They have they've contributed a discount on AV equipment to this tournament. Sales, hire, and installation of audio, visual, and lighting systems for all commercial and domestic applications, including corporate functions and conferences. That's BSS Light Audio Visual.
Roller Derby Cup in 2017. So exciting stuff there.
This is a team timeout called by Adelaide.
So for the host league, Adelaide Roller Derby, number 11, Kilakazi, number 119, Trinket, number 2, Harry Smiles, number 226, Ra, 2-4, Fury of Philistine, 886, and Team Social. 9 is Kit Kat Crunch, and 91 is Andy Gardner. That's the whole time out there. There you go.
And Trinket just absolutely smashed and recycled to the back of the pack. Meanwhile, Kit trying to desperately force her way through this Adelaide pack. They just keep.
All right, we are back. Number 13, Kit, jamming for Western Australia. Going against number 119, Trinket for Adelaide. Trinket bottled up in the back of the pack. Kit in a furious battle at the front against Harry Smiles. Finally drives her opponent to the edge of the engagement zone, and she's forced to back off. Lead jammer goes to Western Australia's Kit, number 13. She's on her first scoring pass. In position to potentially lap Trinket, but no, Trinket breaks away. She was in jammer stealth mode. But lead jammer already taken by Western Australia.
Beautiful bit of interference there from Rainbow.
Kit gets held up by Blue Renegade at the back of the pack. She did make it a little ways into the pack, just enough to get 3 points. Called it off in time, no points for Adelaide. So that puts Western Australia within only 2 points of Adelaide. Now coming into this, Adelaide is actually in the WFTDA rankings is number 154. Western Australia coming in ranked 256. So Adelaide's slightly favored.
Pretty much all of them doing one game on, one game off.
But right now, Western Australia acquitting themselves so far in the first 15 minutes. Only 2 points behind the higher-ranked team. Oh, Ra. No, it was a penalty on the Western Australia. Both jammers think they're in the penalty box, but in fact, okay, there's a bit of confusion now. I believe that Ra got a penalty, but that was against the other jammer who had been sent to the penalty box, and therefore that negated the penalty on Ra. However, that information was not communicated until after she sat in the box. Now, I believe that the referees have used their discretion and instigated a motion, basically settled it in play, which means that the Western Australia jammer is serving the previous penalty.
She isn't eligible for lead now, but she is eligible to score points.
Might have to check confirmation. It's entirely possible that Handy Mandy got another penalty on top of that. However, eventually we will get it sorted out. The officials, I should say, will get it sorted out so that the appropriate penalty times have been served. But Handy Mandy completing her penalty. Now, I believe still on the initial pass, Ra of Adelaide on the third scoring pass now. 10 points already for Adelaide, so they are rocketing back, opening up a sizable lead once again over Western Australia.
Handy Mandy now.
The Handy Mandy having a tough time getting past Blue Renegade called off on a penalty. That leaves only two at the front, Frill Seeker and Anti-Social. But they are all over Handy Mandy. Ra does get a cutting the track penalty. Now, if anyone's keeping track, I believe that is her only penalty of the jam.
Actually. Hiccup with the jammer penalties, 14 points racked up. There was only 3 points.
Yeah, but I think we're gonna just double. There's gonna be a brief official timeout just to make sure everything's sorted. Actually,
and a timeout being called.
There it is. Official timeout officially called.
Just what happened?
And I'm sure this is just to make sure that all the penalties are correct because of that little bit of confusion. It was just a communication issue. Skaters, once they get a penalty, very focused on going to the box as quickly as possible. But that's the Rydell penalty box. Rydell, for over 70 years, Rydell has been the innovative leader in the roller skating industry. Rydell skates unmatched quality, unmatched performance.
353 Handy Mandy, number 4. So remember, you guys, that one of the main sponsors is Rydell. For over 70 years, Rydell has been.
So right now, that was a 14-point jam. That was very close to doubling the Adelaide score.
All right, and all that officiating has been sorted out. We're ready to start this power jam.
Feels like some people had some feelings, and the call stands, is my guess.
Well, not quite double. They had 21, and now at now 14 points puts them at 35. That's actually 40% of the total score is from that last jam, not 50%.
Well, I'm not sure. Definitely, it drew the pack into the turn, which jammers love. You don't want to have to fight on the straight.
Look at this.
We've got Bubbles versus Ankle Grinder. Ankle Grinder holding up Bubbles for almost 10 seconds there. Ross still in the penalty box for Adelaide. So this is a power jam. Bubbles on the first scoring pass, already clinched lead jammer. Knocked out of bounds by Crusher Ramon. And once again, one-on-one with Ankle Grinder. Blady Jane able to cause some interference. And that helps Bubbles get through, but cutting the track. A lot of jammer penalties against both teams. Very close to, I think, about equal jammer penalties so far in this game. Although I don't have an official tally in front of me. But a back block penalty against Raw means that we'll have a jammer swap out. Bubbles still sitting in the penalty box, which means that Raw will have probably about 15 seconds of penalty before being released. But Bubbles did lose lead jammer, so we won't have a lead jammer at all for the remainder of the jam. And Bubbles is on a scoring pass. Knocked down. Ankle Grinder, her nemesis. But a penalty. Penalty against Ankle Grinder. But Bubbles has to make another run at it. Bounces off of Alcatraz. Caught by Blue Wren at just going into the turn. And has to take that another long skate to the back. Adelaide's Jammer Ra, number 226, completing a scoring pass. But Bubbles will get all 5 points and win the jam by a single point. Score now 39 Adelaide, 24 Western Australia.
That's a tough jam. That's both teams playing at their best.
Okay, Kit lining up for WA up against the Philistine. Only 2 blockers for the Adelaideers, 3 for the York.
So we just passed one quarter time in this game. Score is 39-24. Jam on jam.
Oh, see you later. Send you
Ah.
back.
Kit, the Western Australia jammer, get knocked out of bounds by the Philistine. But the Philistine knocked out by Modern Warfare, dodges past, caught by Nails in the front. Another penalty on Western Australia.
Ladies that we're seeing here
Oh,
forcing a power jam.
and an insubordination as well. That's going to be 2 penalties, a total of 1 minute in the penalty box for Western Australia. That's Kit, number 13. So the Philistine getting the first grand slam of the jam. Also claiming lead jammer in the process.
Philistine, formidable jammer, not someone that you want to be in a power jam. Level-headed skater normally. Oh,
Nice shot by Blady Jane, taking down the Philistine, but the Philistine getting a penalty on that. But the Philistine still had to get back in behind Nails. This time out races her to the front of the pack. Another grand slam for Adelaide. 10 points so far in the jam.
Picking the Philistine out. Oh,
3 wall at the front. Tiny Dancer trying to close up the outside lane, but the Philistine gets through. Another grand slam. 15 points for Adelaide. Scoring pass number 4. Kit, the Western Australia jammer, coming back in. Number 13 in the white. Number 88 in the red for Adelaide on her fourth scoring pass. Just edged out of bounds. Going to have to come back out of the turn to get in behind Modern Warfare, number 4 of Western Australia. Up front, Kit finally gets to the end of the engagement zone, and the 3 wall of Adelaide has to disintegrate.
And the Philistine just calls it off for about 20 seconds, and it gets real.
But the Philistine calls off the jam. Only 2 points on the last scoring pass, total of 17 for Adelaide, but manages to keep Western Australia scoreless.
Meanwhile, again, thanks to our officials crew, Tom and Hedrick, Maniac, just doing some more brutal on the floor of that tape.
He is smashing the tape.
Here comes Hades, number 191, jamming for Western Australia.
First to break through, lead jammer.
Trinket, number 119, running away with lead jammer for Adelaide.
Getting hit every step of the way.
Hades sliding off the shoulder of Harry Smiles' last line of defense. Gets out of the pack on the initial pass, but Trinket is going to slide right up the center. Calls off the jam with plenty of time remaining. 4 points Adelaide, nothing for Western Australia.
Tiny Dancer now lining up for the awards of the skate. Up against the Philistine for the Adelaide's. Only 2 blockers on the track.
Still have just under 11 minutes remaining in the first half. 3:53 for Western Australia. Handy Mandy back on the line.
Beautiful work.
Going against team captain number 88, the Philistine. Philistine taking lead jammer. Handy Mandy of Western Australia. Working her way up the inside of the lane. Knocked out of bounds. Has to come back in behind Mosquito. The Philistine, Adelaide's jammer, getting out for the first grand slam of this jam.
She breaks through, but they just keep coming.
Coca-Cola, number 218 of Western Australia, going to the Rydell penalty box.
And Philistine busts her way through. 4 points, calls it off.
Philistine will complete the 4-point pass. Calls off the jam again. Western Australia with nothing.
Ra for the Adelaide's lining up against Bowen Squeaks. Coca-Cola in the naughty corner.
He's definitely
Jamming for Adelaide in the red, number 226 Ra against number 316 Bubbles for Western Australia in the white jerseys. Bubbles getting contained at the back of the pack. Crusher Ramon, Harry Smiles, and on point ankle grinder with Kit Kat Crunch ahead of them, just playing a sweeper role. That's a football reference. Ra crashes to the ground, and a back block penalty means he's going to the box.
Bubbling sweep now, just trying to take the inside line. They're trying to take the outside line. Lead jammer to WA.
All right, Bubbles fighting her way. She is on a power jam, gets lead jammer. Now on the first scoring pass, ankle grinder trapped in the goat pen of Western Australia. Bubbles is going to get all 5 points. She calls off the jam. Ra is frozen in the penalty box for Adelaide. We've got an official review requested by Adelaide.
I imagine one team's going to say they're not happy about something, the other team's going to nod politely.
Yeah, and then the call will most likely stand. If you're enjoying what you're hearing, don't tell me off, mate. If you're enjoying what you're hearing, or just very upset.
Trixie here from Down Under Derby, here to just say a quick thanks to our gold sponsor Rydell with naming rights to Track 1, which you're seeing action from live all weekend. They also have naming rights to our penalty box, which we've seen a lot of action for all weekend. Rydell, for over 70 years, Rydell has been the innovative leader for roller skating industry. Rydell skates, unmatched quality, unmatched performance.
Listen to the concerns. Just going to go away and talk to his officials.
I'm going to have a good private chat here. Some beautiful. And this is going a while as well. And look at him, he's not faulting.
We are still on an official review requested by Adelaide.
What a rock star.
Am I pronouncing that correctly? Adelaide? Well, the head referee is now talking to the team coaches and captains.
And I feel, oh, hang on, we might be getting a little bit of
And we're watching the score because I believe at the end of the jam, that's what it looked like that Adelaide was questioning, just from reading lips of various skaters and such. So I'm watching the score right now. I don't see any changes in the Rydell penalty box either. Still jammer and pivot for Adelaide in the box. Nobody from Western Australia, so they're at full strength. And the score so far remaining the same, so I don't think... hopefully we'll get the full details in a short time, and when we do, if we do, we'll relay it to you. But right now we're back in the game. Handy Mandy, number 353, jamming for Western Australia on the power jam. Blue Renegade with a fierce battle at the front, but Handy Mandy is able to get through. Lead jammer. Ra back in the game, out of the penalty box. The Rydell penalty box clearing now as Harry Smiles, the pivot for Adelaide, released as well. Ra completing her initial pass. But Handy Mandy spins around, gets by Anti-Social on the inside. 4 points for Western Australia. Ra into the pack on a scoring pass. Knocked down and back at the rear of the pack. Handy Mandy gets by Blue Renegade. Blue Renegade put up a fight, but now gets a penalty. So we got another 5 for Western Australia. Sorry, 5 on this pass, 4 on the first pass. Total of 9 so far in the jam, but Handy Mandy on scoring pass number 3. Knocked out by Fury of Fenrir, number 24 of Adelaide, but Fury getting a penalty, and that's going to leave Antisocial all by herself. A flurry of penalties for Adelaide. Only 2 blockers on the track right now for Adelaide. That's Antisocial and Ra. Ra passed the star over to Harry Smiles, but Harry Smiles now in the box as jammer. Handy Mandy with another 5. That puts her at 19 points for Western Australia. And coming in on scoring pass number 5. I believe this is the first 5th scoring pass we've had this game. Potentially the highest scoring jam of the game for either team. And there it is, another 5. That puts her to 24 points. But Harry Smiles did manage to pick up 3 for Adelaide. So that jam ends 24-3 in favor of Western Australia. But that only puts Western Australia up to 53. Adelaide still in the lead with 72 points. 19-point difference. We've got less than 6 minutes remaining in the first half. Rydell penalty box is cleared out, so we're gonna start this next jam 5-on-5. I don't think we've seen that since the very first jam. Official timeout right now.
It's a little old school, just getting to go to the back, but certainly working effectively. It's 24 big points on the board.
Trixie again while we're on our timeout. We'd like to take a moment to thank Spank Alley, naming rights to track 2 over there, and the official armbands for TGSS, way that we can identify all of the players and makes the officials' lives just that little bit easier. Spank Alley with top quality armbands, helmet covers, compression pants, and lots of cool stuff. Yes, that's exactly what it says. All right, looks like we're returning to the game.
Philistine tries to take the outside line.
The Philistine, number 88, jamming for Adelaide. Stumbles going into the pack. Sent back to the rear. We've got Hades, number 191, jamming for Western Australia. Driven out of bounds by Crusher Ramon. Comes back in. Harry Smiles bringing up the rear for Adelaide. Oh, but a penalty we've got against the Philistine. That means it's another power jam for Western Australia.
Hades just catching the skate on an awkward angle.
A series of jammer penalties for Adelaide, and that is giving opportunities to Western Australia. They've got another lead jammer. Kit Kat Crunch going to the penalty box as well. So now 3 blockers, no jammer for Adelaide. Hades going one-on-one with Crusher Ramon. Oh, a shot with the shoulder, but Hades just manages to walk the line, stays in bounds, and gets 5 for Western Australia. Second scoring pass, same 3-wall. Crusher Ramon, Harry Smiles, and Ankle Grinder. Ankle Grinder and Crusher Ramon very effective with the 2-wall at the front. Harry Smiles guarding the outside lane. But Adelaide's jammer, the Philistine, back on the track. She's still on her initial pass, though, but makes short work of it. She is through, trying to catch up, but right now Hades finishing her second scoring pass, and she did get that jammer point before the Philistine returned. Calls off the jam in time. Another donut for Adelaide. 10 points for Western Australia, and that means Western Australia only 9 points behind Adelaide with 4 minutes remaining in the first half.
We're going to start with a block in the box. Their pivot set for a destruction of pack penalty. And once again, it's in that dynamic start formation, an aggressive lineup by Adelaide is ready to play off.
Trinket, number 119, jamming for Adelaide. And she gets, just like that, lead jammer for Adelaide. Kit, number 13, stuck behind a 3-wall of Adelaide. Fury of Fenrir, Antisocial, and Frill Seeker were rounding out that 3-wall. Trinket's going to slip up the outside lane, gets a 5 point for Adelaide. Kit still contained by Adelaide's blockers, same 3.
Beautiful work. Adelaide is again just bringing her to a complete standstill and then recycling her back.
Oh, no, Mosquito heading to the penalty box. But Trinket still able to get through. Second scoring pass is another 5-point pass. 10 points so far for Adelaide. Kit picking herself up off the ground, but Thrill Seeker and Fury of Fenrir stop her in her tracks, even almost forcing her to go retrograde.
Skaters had set up a nice defensive formation, but Adelaide drew them out of it before the jammer approached.
Trinket just has them falling, just passing.
Trinket making another run up the outside. Modern Warfare stays in front, gets another shoulder in, but Trinket rides it out and completes the pass. Another 5 points. Total of 20. Now I think Handy Mandy's still with the biggest jam of the game, 24 points. But, you know, Adelaide almost matching that right now. Trinket with 20 points. That puts them at 92. Western Australia still at 63. We've got 2 minutes left in the first half. We've still got a whole another second half coming up after this, so plenty of time for Western Australia. They're really putting up a surprising fight considering the gap in the rankings. However, the penalties taking a heavy toll so far in the first half on Adelaide's offense. A lot of power jams that Western Australia has gotten that have not been reciprocated for Adelaide. So we've got the Philistine breaking free. She's got lead jammer. Something the Adelaide Jammers have been doing pretty consistently when they don't get penalties.
No luck yet for Bubble and Squeaks with breaking
So
through.
both teams showing a lot of strength on the jammer line and great blocking. There it is. Philistine only going to get part way through. Bubbles did complete her initial pass, so did not give up the jammer point. But the Philistine running into heavy traffic from the Western Australia defense and goes in and calls it off. But she does get, even though she didn't complete the pass, she did get all 4. So it looks like Adelaide, we've got less than a minute to go, and so far it looks like in spite of all those jammer penalties, Adelaide is going to finish strong in the first half. Trinket back on the line. 2 jams ago, she scored 20 points. Bounces off a shoulder from Modern Warfare. Slips by Coca-Cola. Or is it Coca-Cola? Coca-Cola. Handy Mandy's going to get out of the pack, but only her initial pass. Trinket on her first scoring pass. Oh, she tapped once, but there's the multi-tap. She put her hands on her hips, but you have to repeat it before it's officially called off. Oh, but she called it slightly late. Did get all 4 points for Adelaide, but Western Australia able to steal one off the back of the pack. That's 10 squared and 8 squared. These are square. It's a square score. I don't think there's a drinking game for that, or for juice, milk, whatever beverage you care for. But Adelaide does hit triple digits before the half. We are in an official review right now. That must be official review for Western Australia. So the clock stopped with 1 second. Vaderella, how are you doing?
Oh, there we go. You can turn it on. That's great. Hi, Bulldog.
You've come by with 1 second on the clock.
Oh, yeah. I like to just keep one in my pants. Never know when you need a little spare second.
Hades once again lining up against the Philistine, full pack of skaters.
1 second on the period clock, so we will be in halftime after this jam. Let's see who can...
All right, the Rydell penalty box is cleared. The score has not changed. So once again, unfortunately, we don't know what the official review was actually about, but no changes to the score or the penalties. So we're back into action. The Philistine, captain of Adelaide, jamming against Hades, number 191. Hades in the forward position with the 3 wall of Adelaide blockers. Crusher, Ramona, ankle grinder. And Harry Smile now not able to hold her in. Hades gets through. Lead jammer for Western Australia. So it looks like Western Australia looking to finish the first half strong as well.
Their offense has been outstanding this game.
Skips her way through.
The Philistine getting by Hella High Water, number 49 of Western Australia. But Hades will call it off. That's the end of the first half. And 3 points for Western Australia, so they'll end with 67 points, 33 points behind Adelaide.
I'm glad you can do math. It's too early in the morning for me.
100 points to 67.
Back here, just around 14 minutes time.
Were you going to do a halftime?
don't charge anymore.
Okay, so 100 points to the Adelaide, 67 to the Wards and Escape.
Just about a minute before the second half of Adelaide Roller Derby, the Adelaides against Western Australia Roller Derby. I'm here with Vaderella. I'm Bulldog.
I'm Vader. I'm doing unbiased commentary. Very
And
unbiased.
starting this second period, there is no one in the Rydell Skates penalty box.
Everyone loves
It's gonna
a
be 5 on 5, just
nice
like we
clean
started.
box to start the second half with.
Well, we do have an empty Rydell penalty box, so 5-on-5 starts the second half. Looks like the Philistine, number 88, team captain of Adelaide, will be taking the Jammer Star first up against Handy Mandy, number 353 for Western Australia. Western Australia in the white jerseys, Adelaide in the red.
And they've absolutely torn it.
Mosquito just having a little stretch.
They just got themselves about 7 metres of the most offensive red material they could find. And they've just draped it over themselves in many different fashions.
I wonder if I can convince some men's derby teams to do that. I don't think any of them will get off their asses.
They're not even drunk yet.
Are you sure?
There's the 5-second call. Getting ready, going into the second half. Adelaide with a 33-point lead. The Philistine breaks up the outside, getting right past Coca-Cola. The point person for Western Australia. Lead jammer goes to Adelaide. Handy Manny getting away from Fury of Fenrir.
And the Philistine
Completes the initial pass. He's got a penalty. Looked like a multiplayer block against someone. Modern Warfare looks like, but the Philistine creamed to the outside.
A lovely mid-air call-off by Philistine.
All right, yeah, I was double checking because I saw her go to the outside of the track, but no penalty. 4 points. She called it off clean. But Western Australia's Handy Manny did pick up 2. So both teams scoring in the first jam of the second half. Kilikazi, number 11, jamming for Adelaide. And in the white, Hades, number 191, trying to follow Kilikazi out of the pack, but Kilikazi gets lead. Hades still hung up in the 2-wall. Gets by Crusher Ramon. Harry Smiles gets so repeat from the first jam. That was a 4-0 jam for Adelaide. Trinket runs into Tiny Dancer, gets right by her and Coca-Cola, and edges out Handy Mandy for lead jammer. Both jammers out of the pack, but Adelaide in control of the clock.
All right, Trinkets. Oh, she's actually on the outside. And she's through.
Beautiful work from Trinket. She works her way around. Handy Manny just seemed to get the
Handy Manny gets a shoulder to the front from Fury of Fenrir. Steps out of bounds, does not recycle, gets a cutting the track penalty. So now it's a power jam for Adelaide. Trinket getting an opening courtesy of Fury of Fenrir. That gets her by Tiny Dancer and Modern Warfare.
Adelaide's keeping points at the back.
Nails trying to back it up, close off the outside lane, but Trinket just a little bit too fast for her. Turns to the Rydell penalty box, sees Handy Mandy, the jammer for Western Australia, standing, and opts to call off the jam. 14 points. Handy Mandy did pick up 3 before that penalty, so plus 11 differential. That puts Adelaide at 122, Western Australia at 72, a 50-point lead, 5-0.
We've got Ra on the line for a power jam start for the Adelaides. Adelaide's backing up for some O.
Aggressive positioning. Kick that punch on the outside.
Ra, number 226, having some trouble from Cammy, number 7 of Western Australia. She's backed up by Juicy M. Suffer. Juicy M. Suffer trying to catch her coming out of turn 2, but Ra too fast. She gets lead jammer for Adelaide.
We've got Handy Mandy trying to break through the front of the pack. She's been caught out by Grinder, who's bringing her back to the back of the pack.
Ankle Grinder controlling Handy Mandy and still not letting her back in. Finally, Handy Mandy able to step in, but Ankle Grinder really edged her all the way to the very rear of the.
And Ra's still caught in the pack at the moment. Adelaide. Oh, she's just bought 3.
Beautiful work as Handy Mandy breaks her way through.
And Ra calls it.
Calls it off after getting 4 points.
So that's 4 for the Adelaides and 0 for Western Australia.
Philistine now lining up against Bubble and Squeak.
Both teams finally cleared that little penalty spiral we had going there.
So that was 5 points. The jam ref for Adelaide double checking and correcting. So there it is, now at 127 for Adelaide. Bubbles, number 316, jamming for Western Australia and cuts the track. Another power jam for Adelaide. The Philistine getting up the outside lane. Little help from Frill Seeker and Fury of Fenrir blocking, opening up the door.
But Blue Brennergrade is off for a penalty.
Philistine bouncing her way around the award.
Philistine squeezed to the outside.
Beautiful work from the girls. They just
That was backed up by Modern Warfare, but Modern Warfare picks up a penalty. Didn't see the call, but Philistine able to get by Nails. Nails falling down as Philistine passes.
Western Australia jammer is standing in the box.
I've been loving her re-entry.
That was 5 points on the first scoring pass. Philistine now just wedges her way right between Coca-Cola and Tiny Dancer of Western Australia. Another
Mosquito
5.
pulling her back at the end. Bubbles re-entering.
Third scoring pass for the Philistine. With Bubbles out of the penalty box and just battering her away, but Fury of Fenrir able to knock her out of bounds, and another penalty, this time a forearm penalty against Bubbles of Western Australia, and the power jams continue for Adelaide.
Adelaide swarm at the front of the tripod and try and get their jammer free, but Philippines call at the back.
And an end to that one with 3 rock and roll points. 4 rock and roll points.
4 points on the fourth scoring pass for the Philistine of Adelaide. So 19 points total in that jam.
We'll have Kilikazi stepping up on the jammer line for a power jam start.
Bubbles and Squeaks sits in the naughty corner. With Modern Warfare.
But in the second half of the first period, Adelaide was having a lot of penalty trouble, especially in the realm of jammer penalties. But so far in the second half, it has been Western Australia with giving up the power jams to Adelaide. Kilikazi, number 11, still skating unopposed. Bubbles just getting released from the penalty box. The Kilikazi trying to ram her way past the Western Australia defense, but Juicy Suffer and Cammy not making it easy for her, and Bubbles out of the penalty box, breaks free first, and even worse for Adelaide. Kilikazi to the penalty box on a forearm penalty. So now it is Western Australia's turn to get the power jam. First scoring pass, and Bubbles knocked to the ground, but Harry Smiles gets a penalty. A lot of penalties for both teams so far in this game.
Yeah, Adelaide has now got their first jammer penalty for the half. Hopefully this doesn't start a trend.
Well, that fills up the penalty box for Adelaide. Alcatraz and Crusher Ramon, the only blockers on the track. Bubbles goes wide, but gets a delayed call, cutting the track, and that sends her to the penalty box as jammer for Western Australia. And Kilikazi out of the penalty box, outraces Cammy around the turn, and she'll complete the initial pass for Adelaide. Western Australia already on the second scoring pass when she got sent to the penalty box. So right now, Kilikazi of Adelaide just trying to match points. She will match the 5 so far tallied for Western Australia. And now tied up in scoring passes with Western Australia. Kilikazi knocked to the ground. Cammy recovers nicely. Modern Warfare, number 4 of Western Australia, tries to keep it shut, but Kilikazi gets the 5.
Western Australia's jam out the box, but the jam has been called off before she can score more. Oh, no, she scores. Cheeky 2.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 2 points for Western Australia's Bubbles. That was before she got sent to the penalty box. So that final jam score was 10-7. So Adelaide picking up a net 3 points on that jam.
timeout being called.
We've got an official timeout being called once again. So we're going to take this opportunity to thank another sponsor of the Great Southern Slam, Physio Fit, Adelaide's official physio provider.
Go see them in the vendor stall area. We also have Cove Print, our banners and flyers. Thank Cove Print for all our TGS printing needs. And finally, Haig's Chocolates. Thanks to Haig's Chocolates for feeding our officials.
And that official timeout is converted to a team timeout called by Western Australia. That is their first team timeout used up. So that means that after this timeout ends, both teams will have 2 timeouts remaining, and they both still have their official review for the second half.
The right skates penalty box is clean, so we're going to have 5-on-5.
Hades, number 191, up to the front, slides off of Antisocial, caught by Blue Renegade. Blue Renegade can't contain her, but she gets the Blue Renegade backed up by Fury of Fenrir, who contains the Western Australia Jammer, and Trinket, number 119 of Adelaide, gets out with the lead.
And we've still got the Western Australia Jammer being held up by a tripod of Mosquito, Antisocial, and Blue Renegade coming out the front. Backed up by Antisocial. Oh, Antisocial brings it back to the back of the pack.
And Hades is going to get recycled all the way, almost out of turn 3. Now into stealth mode.
She's happy to just collect those 4 points.
The jam's going to get called off by Adelaide. 4 points for the Adelaides in the red.
Full pack of skaters yet again, 161 to 80, 19 minutes left in the second half. Girls are away.
Raw, number 226, taking the Jammer Star for Adelaide against Handy Mandy, number 353. For Western Australia, who fights her way, gets past Ankle Grinder and Harry Smiles. The 2 all at the front for Adelaide. Lead Jammer goes to Western Australia. Handy Mandy pirouettes around Raw. Now that star was passed over to Harry Smiles. However, that star pass disqualified. It's actually an illegal procedure call. So a failed star pass sends Raw to the penalty box. That star cover on the ground. However,
so a little bit of an odd situation where you can see there on the back straight the Jammer Star for the Adelaide.
all right, I was looking carefully because okay, sometimes that fallen helmet cover can be a bit of a safety hazard, but it looks like everyone's skating around it. So far, Western Australia now on a second scoring pass, still on the power jam, and out races Alcatraz out of the pack. Another 5 gives Western Australia 10 points.
But on the other side, Warner trying to set up their
Raw, returning from the penalty box, retrieves the helmet cover, the only skater that can.
Meanwhile, Handy Mandy just
It's back on her helmet and now on the initial pass for Adelaide. Third scoring pass right now for Handy Mandy, and it's another 4 points. 14 so far for Western Australia.
Western Australia making Ra work really hard on the apex. Keep pushing her out, dragging back.
That was a nice shot. Crusher Ramon and Harry Smiles both got shots in on Handy Mandy, and she was backing out. Barely stayed in bounds to complete the pass. Gets in for a 5th one, but no points. Calls it off. She was in position to get up to another 4 points, but did not manage to pull it off, but still wins the jam 19-0. Adelaide unable to put any points on the board in that jam.
Big 0 signal by the jam right there. Still 19-0. Big, strong jam for the Wards in the skate. Still 17 minutes left.
Philistine going up against Kit.
The Philistine jamming for Adelaide. Number 13, Kit, jamming for Western Australia.
Kit seemed to struggle just getting past her skaters.
Philistine straight for the box.
Philistine picks up a track card right in front of the penalty box.
Western Australia jammer getting some help from her teammates. Now running into a two-wall fury of Fenrir with a powerful shoulder, sending Kit to the ground. She recovers nicely, though, but only to run into a batch of quicksand. The three-wall at the front from Adelaide not barely allowing her to move. Modern Warfare got in and got it moving a little bit. Now Kit shrugging off Fury of Fenrir's off to the side, almost using like a judo move or keto or something. But now Antisocial, just a one-woman wall at the front. Now Blue Renegade trying to steamroll Kit out of bounds, but Kit getting through anyway. Lead jammer for Western Australia. The Philistine completing her initial pass, but that was the toughest initial pass for both teams I've seen the entire game. And it's going to end 0-0.
Anti is like having a whole pack in one woman. Adding a little Blue Renegade, and it's going to be a world of pain.
She's going to sit some time in the right skates penalty box.
And just say, I regret nothing.
Yeah, I think that's one of the ones we've got to say working.
So the score remains 161 for Adelaide, 99 for Western Australia. Handy Mandy in the white for Western Australia. Up front, ankle grinder. And Crusher Ramon not able to stop Handy Mandy. She's lead jammer once again. I believe the point and lead jammer, the stats leader in general for jammers on Western Australia. Handy Mandy, very effective out there. I think the most effective jammer for Western Australia.
Oh, but she's been sent off for a penalty, cutting the track.
That's one of those, the announcer curse, right? So effective, and now she's in the box. Okay.
Kilikazi just having a moment.
Oh, we've got Kilikazi. She was in stealth mode, so we've got no lead jammer. Adelaide just completing the initial pass. First scoring pass. Runs into Cami first off. Slides by Juicium Suffer. Avoids Nails. Nails catches her again with a shoulder and gets her out of bounds. Kilikazi's going to have to retrace her path out of turn one. But at the Adelaide's blockers holding the line at the opening of the turn, not allowing Western Australia to drive her any further back. But they're going to get her out of bounds again, and now Handy Mandy back on the track.
Oh no, it's another cut the track penalty for Handy Mandy.
She's back on the track. No, she's not. Penalty.
Oh no, now it's a back. Kilikazi is now going to the box for the in the back penalty, so we'll have a jammer switch out.
So we'll be a swap out, only about 5 or 6 seconds per jammer. Well, Handy Mandy's going to get back to the pack. We'll pick up 3 points, but 5 points for Kilikazi before going to the penalty box. Double checking the score. There's the 3 points for Western Australia. 5 for Adelaide. 166-102, but Western Australia does break triple digits.
And what were you saying about jammer penalties in this second half?
I was not saying anything, nor will I, for the rest of the game.
Keeping us on our toes.
We care about your opinions.
So we've got an official review, however, requested by Adelaide.
Always helps sell the argument when you can demonstrate it.
I think it's actually our duty. I think it's our duty to try them.
I can definitely take that on board, and I'm happy to trial the bum box. I have quite the bum to try out the bum box, I believe.
I could try to shake your head though. She means this one.
Yeah. I think she means most things that she does, Matt.
All right, now, unfortunately, we are probably not going to be able to tell you the details of this official review.
Solid work there, guys.
for review. Red called an official review to challenge the back block on the jammer call stands.
Adelaide requesting a review of the back block penalty called against Kilikazi late in that jam. However, the call stands. That means Adelaide also loses their official review.
Challenging. If the blocker initiated into the jammer as they approached, then it could go the other way. But generally, the refs
Didn't say anything about jammer penalties prior to that call, so just wanted to point that out. But we've got a power jam. Trinket just weaving her way right through the maze of Western Australia blockers. I didn't think anyone made any kind of solid contact on her, though, so an easy 5. That's a second time through, now on her third scoring pass.
And Trinket is up against the fine, mighty Western Australian, doing a tripod at the front, and they knock her out and is calling it from the floor.
I think that was Modern Warfare number 4 using Nails number 56 as a battering ram to knock.
Well, Trinket was sideways,
Trinket out, yeah.
So pretty effective that was.
Just in the naughty corner. Just around 12 minutes left in this second half. 179 to 102. 13 points that last round.
Okay, and we were just checking the penalty board, and all of the main jammers for Western Australia are actually on the brink with 5 or 6 penalties. So every one of them either on the brink or very close to the brink of fouling out. With still 12 minutes left in the game. Hades, number 191, edging up the outside lane. She was tap dancing in tomahawk, or is it mohawk formation to get by, but gets lead jammer.
Looks like a star pass has happened to Crusher. Crusher is taking it out the front, putting it on.
Crusher Ramon, now the jammer for Adelaide, but looks like Hades took a heavy shot, slow getting up. They called off the jam, 2 points for Western Australia. She looks shaken up a little bit, but she's going to be returning to the bench on her own power. Might be favoring that left leg just a little bit. But she looks in good spirits. There's a little bit of a smile going back to the bench. So move right along. We've got the Philistine, number 88 of Adelaide, jamming against Handy Mandy, 353 of Western Australia.
And Philistine's out for lead. Handy Mandy's still working her way through the pack.
Handy Mandy recycled just a bit. Tries to sidle her way up the outside lane, but Blue Renegade catches her, and Fury of Fenrir all over, bulldozing her to the inside. Handy Mandy getting nowhere, now picked up. Was that Blue Renegade again? Blue Renegade backed up again by Fury of Fenrir. Those two, a fearsome duo at the front.
Trust me, you don't want to meet them on the track or a back alleyway, ever.
That's right, an anti-social backing them up. So as Blue Renegade heads to the box, anti-social and Fury of Fenrir try to stop Handy Mandy, but this time the Western Australia jammer able to slip through.
And Phil's out. We've got Mo coming back through the pack.
4 points on the second scoring pass for the Philistine. Brings it a total of 9 so far. Handy Mandy on her first scoring pass.
Mosquito giving Handy Mandy a really hard time.
Oh, a double penalty, a forearm on Mosquito and a cutting the track on the Philistine. So that means 3 blockers on the track for Adelaide. Power jam for Western Australia. Second scoring pass for Handy Mandy, but forced out of bounds by Fury of Fenrir.
Fury drags her all the way to the back of the pack to start all over again.
Handy Mandy again runs into Antisocial and Blue Renegade. They get her to step out of bounds. Don't recycle her far, though. But on the inside, another recycle. And time runs out. Handy Mandy will pick up 3 on the second scoring pass. Total of 8. Still 1 shy of Adelaide's 9 points. But they are going to start on the power with a power start. The Philistine and Mosquito standing in the penalty box. The Philistine as jammer.
We have Crusher Ramon and Grinder and also Alcatraz who'll be starting at the, looks like the pivot line. Oh no, they're moving back towards the jammer line.
Kit, number 13, jamming for Western Australia. 3-wall at the front. Ankle Grinder, Crusher Ramon.
Phil tries to sneak on the outside but takes the inside and is lead jammer.
Meanwhile, Kit struggling to break through this Adelaide wall as all of the girls are getting in and helping her. They're running interference. It's just not paying off yet. Oh, beautiful.
The Philistine out of the back. Cammy comes across with a hip check but steps out of bounds. The Philistine does not go out of bounds and just keeps skating on. 5 points for Adelaide.
So we have Blady Jane taking the star in a successful star pass.
So she just does a safe
Jam
ball
gets
there.
called. The Philistine won't get any points on the second scoring pass, but calls it off. No points for Western Australia.
New Jam always right on the tail.
And stepping up now to the jam line to Killer Slammer. And the corner over there.
Western Australia opting to field a fresh jammer. Tequila Slammer, number 30, in the white, going against the 119 in the red. That's Trinket of Adelaide.
Tequila Slammer now tries to force her way
Tequila
around.
Slammer muscled to the ground. Fury of Fenrir barely. Oh, looks like actually a skate malfunction. Tequila Slammer trying to fix her skates. Looks like she's satisfied with it, but Trinket already through. Got lead jammer. First scoring pass goes to the outside, but Tequila Slammer follows her out. However, she is a full lap behind the Adelaide jammer.
And Trinket's looking to her bench to see whether to call it or keep going. Looks like she's going to keep going and get her blocker out of the box.
Trinket though with lead jammer and in control.
Tequila Slammer has a clear path that she is going to get 4 points for Western Australia on her first time jamming. Trinket, of course, will match those 4, still a full lap ahead. So 5 points leading in this jam, 9-4. And she's going to continue to let the clock roll. Tequila Slammer, second scoring pass, surrounded by 3 Adelaide blockers.
Trinket's being held up the back.
Yeah, it's Fury of Fenrir, Antisocial, and Frill Seeker, with Mosquito held in reserve. Didn't even need to do anything. Tequila Slammer, though, does pick up another 4, puts her at 8 points for the jam. Only 2 points picked up by Adelaide on the last scoring pass. So Adelaide winning 11-8. That also puts Adelaide over the 200 mark.
Starting this jam with 4-on-4.
Hades are doing her best to break through the pack. Takes the outside line, lead jammer.
Hades takes lead jammer just ahead of Ra. Ra working to catch up, but Hades now putting on the speed. Only going to open up about a single stride ahead. Ra managing to keep up more or less. Hades just going to dip in, calls off the jam. 2 points, Western Australia.
That was a lovely last-minute call-off, paying off for Western Australia.
This bout had like another half in it. Game on.
One more half.
Tequila Slammer just goes, nah, it's game on now, let's do this. Fresh legs, she's away, up against the Philistine. Gets absolutely smashed by Antisocial.
Adelaide fielding the Philistine.
Tequila Slammer just dealing one more time with Antisocial.
Up front, Tequila Slammer taking the penalty, taking the jammer cover again. Frill Seeker with his shoulder sends her out of bounds. She'll recycle, getting pulled even further back by Blue Renegade.
Yep, she breaks through.
Up front, the Philistine getting away from Tiny Dancer, last line of defense for Western Australia, and steals away with lead jammer.
Western Australia jammer having a hard time making that duo of, we've got Fury and Blue Renegade at the front. Mo dragging it back.
Tequila Slammer one-on-one with Antisocial. She's screened off by Coca-Cola, only to run into a 3-wall. Fury of Fenrir, Blue Renegade, and Frills Seeker able to force Tequila Slamma out of bounds. She's still on the initial pass, this time going into stealth mode. Didn't pass the start. That was a bit sneaky. Now one-on-one, Blue Renegade. Oh, out of nowhere, the Philistine comes in and does some blocking of her own. And Blue Renegade's able to catch up. And once again, Adelaide containing the Western Australia jammer. Still on the initial pass. That was the Philistine from out of nowhere.
It's lovely to see the jammers blocking the other jammers. It's been a long time. Can be very, very effective.
That's a shame lap, that is.
Blue Renegade heading to the penalty box. Oh, Fury of Fenrir and Tiny Dancer. That's 2 Adelaide blockers, 1 Western Australia blocker. Just all in about the same 5-second time frame. Tequila Slamma with a hard-fought completion of the initial pass, but no points. And actually, I'm not positive that she did. It was called off. 3 more points on the 3rd scoring pass for Adelaide. That's a total of 13 for the ladies in the red jerseys. 2 minutes remaining, and Adelaide with just 95-point lead over Western Australia.
We've got Trinket and Kit on the line. And Kit is lead jammer, getting past Crusher. Trinket's still caught in the pack.
Kit runs into the 2-wall in the front. That's Alcatraz and Crusher Ramon working together. Kit trying to deflect to the outside, but caught by Alcatraz. Alcatraz keeping that door sealed shut.
It looks like it may have started to pay off, and yes, it does. One more to get past.
Here goes Trinket, one-on-one with Tiny Dancer, but Tiny Dancer of Western Australia wins that battle. Trinket's going to have to go the entire back stretch to get back onto the track. Slips by Blady Jane, gets by Tiny Dancer. Tiny Dancer was screened off by Blue Renegade. Trinket completing the initial pass for Adelaide. Kit with lead jammer. Sees Trinket coming, but actually gets it cutting the track. Loses lead jammer. And Trinket is on the first scoring pass. No lead jammer. Batters their way past Juicy M. Suffer. Juicy M. Suffer actually holding her helmet. I did not see contact, but obviously in some pain, but not enough to disable her on the track. So we'll keep an eye on her, but the jam continues.
Lady Jane got a beautiful shoulder and sent Trinket flying on the apex, and is now dragging her back.
Getting hit in the ear is one of the most painful things you can have happen playing rollerblade.
It's disorientating as well.
I've been smacked in the ear once, and I just lost all sense of where I
Kit
was.
back on the track, jammer for Western Australia. On her first scoring pass. The time it will run out on the jam clock. Kit gets all 5 points, but so does Trinket. So Trinket was on the second scoring pass. So total of 10-5 in favor of Adelaide. So we've got an official review requested.
0 seconds is still no seconds.
It's not 9 seconds, it's 0 seconds.
Well, the period clock has expired. However, there is an official review requested on that last jam by Western Australia. Now it remains to be seen if there was any time left on the clock. But right now, period clock did hit 0. But there may have been
I reckon there was a cheeky second. There's always one in the back pocket.
We will see. Unfortunately, I wasn't watching the clock. There was too much action on the track. I wasn't watching the exact time on the clock when the jam ends. So it'll all get sorted right now, though. Western Australia with an official review. According to the scoreboard, the game time has expired.
Certainly feeling the length of this jam and the intensity of the defense. So the longer the break they can earn their skaters, the better they are at their job.
Make sure when you finished up watching some amazing derby today that you do head over to the village and check out some of the amazing things that they do have on offer. Great place to just get some of your skate gear, check it out.
The vendor village is pretty exciting. It's certainly stocked by Rydell Skates. For over 70 years, Rydell has been the innovative leader in the roller skating industry. Rydell Skates, unmatched quality, unmatched performance. And if you visit the booth this weekend, you can register to win a set of the new Radar Halo wheels.
Also, if you're not on skates,
Their head ref has come out of the zebra huddle, as it's sometimes known, and has informed the team captains, and now hopefully we'll find out what that official review is about.
WARD challenge for a high block call on the Adelaide jammer to right 3-3. Initial contact was to the chest, not to the head. No call stands.
Oh, I really felt like he was going to do it then. I felt like he was just going to mix it up and say, nah, put it through.
The officials did talk for quite a long time, 2 minutes.
All right, well, the teams are lining up, but the period clock still shows no time remaining.
They might just be slow talking.
And just to clarify, that call, that official review, Western Australia was requesting or was challenging a no call on a high block they believe the Adelaide Jammer had committed, which would have just given a penalty, wouldn't change the points.
To the anticlimax, that is the end of this bout.
And yeah, so we've just got the confirmation. That is the end of the game.
This is why you always want that cheeky second in the back pocket.
That is the end of the game. Congratulations to the ADRD Adelaides, the winners here.
All right, so yes, congratulations to Adelaide winning the game. Well, the unofficial score, 227 to 127. Still waiting for that final score, but that gives us time to thank once again our sponsors for the Great Southern Slam 2016. Big thanks to Adelaide Showground. They are the fabulous venue that we are at, providing protection from the rain, the wind, and that horrible sun in beautiful sunny Adelaide in the middle of winter.
There's no sun here today. I've seen no sun.
But thanks to the Adelaide Showgrounds for the amazing venue. They also put a bid in to host the Women's Flat Track Roller Derby World Cup in 2017, so good luck to that.
How good would it be to have World Cup down under?
Also, of course, thanks to Rydell. Rydell, the Track 1 sponsor, and also the sponsor of our after party. That's very important. But
the Rydell High Prom.
For over 70 years, Rydell has been the innovative leader in the roller skating industry. Rydell skates, unmatched quality, unmatched performance. But we've got a final score officially. Adelaide 227, Western Australia 127. Congratulations to the Adelaides.
And I hope I was offering an unbiased view. This was the first time I've ever got behind a microphone. It's probably going to be the last time they'll ever let me behind a microphone. So thank you, Bulldog, for putting up with me. And I didn't swear, so yay for me.
That was our goal for this one. Next time we'll set it slightly higher, but no, you could have fooled me. Nice job, Vaderella. Thank you. I'm Bulldog. And we're going to be back with some more action from the Great Southern Slam 2016 in just a few. Thank you very much.
All right, we're here for the post-game interview. I'm here with Bubbles from Wards of the Skate. Absolutely exciting game. How was it for you out there?
I think it was a really good start. Bearing in mind, we came into this, and obviously you're always nervous when it's the first game of a tournament, especially playing Adelaide because we played them last year. And so we had a bit of a sort of build-up in our mind, I think. But I think it was a really good start, and the girls were really, really stoked with sort of how everything happened. So.
Now, both teams had two very different styles of offense. We saw some big points for both teams. How was dealing with that different style of play?
It was tough. They were a really exhausting team to play, and I think it was a challenge for us. And we always knew that was going to be the case because we knew they were a very different style. But with every game, I guess you learn a lot, and everyone kind of had their little personal achievements and then learned something. So I think everyone's just happy, but kind of super tired from the thinking and the doing of that.
It looked pretty exhausting, but that's just game one of the tournament. What are you looking forward to next up?
Looking forward to watching some derby this afternoon, that's for sure, because we haven't really had a chance to watch anything. And then, looking forward to obviously playing a different team, playing Whakatane this afternoon, and it'll be a completely different team. And then beyond that, I guess we look forward to the potential chance of some of the other insanely good teams that we get to play as well, if we get through. So.
Well, it was certainly an exciting game to call. I hope it was an exciting game to watch. Good luck for the rest of the tournament. We'll see you out there.
Thank you. Cheers.
All right, and joined here trackside is Mosquito from the victorious Adelaides. That was a very exciting game. It was hard, it was tough. How was it for you out there?
It definitely was. I mean, we might have won by 100 in the end, but it certainly didn't feel like that while the game was being played. They were very hard hitting. It was great.
And the two teams had very different styles, different offensive techniques. How was it adapting your style against theirs?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we had to sort of the first few jams work out what they were trying to do and then try and adapt what we did. I don't know if it worked all right, but yeah, it's great playing people that we're not used to because you get to try out all your tricky stuff.
And that first 15 minutes or so kind of looked a bit of chaos, and then you guys really settled into a groove and started to pull away. How did you adjust after that opening chaos?
Well, I think, it's our first game of the tournament and we've all been working really hard to run it, so it was just probably 15 minutes of working out that we're here to play roller derby and then everything switched into gear.
And how about that cheer squad? They're always bringing it. They had the songbooks, the glowing sign. Did that help you out there?
Oh, look, our cheer squad are probably the best in the whole world. There's no doubt about it. They keep us going the whole time.
They sure are. Well, good luck for the rest of the tournament. A couple of big games coming up. Which ones are you looking forward to the most?
Oh, look, I think every game, this is like one of my, obviously, favourite tournaments that we ever do. I just love playing. So any game is a great one.
Well, good luck in it. Thank you very much, and we'll see you for the next game.
Thanks.